Welcome, part 4. Let's see if this time I did not forget anything. I think so far so good. Yeah, so last time we basically completed the bed. We didn't mount it, so the decision was we will mount it later. Um, but basically, yeah, we just continue where we left off in a certain sense. So today I want to focus on the gantry and the AB drives, and idlers. So it's basically like the whole gantry that moves up and down. That's kind of like the goal for today. I don't think we will install it. Either on. Oh, and I see the chat is again the misaligned. I already tried fixing it up front, but for some reason it does not want to be cooperative. It's like every time it's like moved around. Now I literally just like take out the settings, put them back in, and it works. Very weird. Hi there, Eric. Welcome. Let me also makes it a bit bigger that I see something. Yeah, so it's drive. So it's a lot of printed parts. Not a lot of hardware we need. So I tried to like look up already what we need, and most of the like kit hardware is just the bearings, two motors, and pulleys and idlers. So it's relatively straightforward. But at the same time, we have like a lot of hardware in here. It's like still does need to be here. A lot of printed parts. I'm really curious because we will have a lot of the white parts now. So at the end of the stream, we should have like a rough idea if my black and white color scheme will turn out well or not. So, yeah, let's quickly do like a check in the manual maybe before we start. Um, how would you rate the kit on your experience so far? So far it's fine. Like I didn't encounter any problems and the parts seem to do their job. Okay. The only thing that's like not ideal or not perfect is the hot end. Because like I have the standard version of this kit with the V6 hot end, so it's like a very like simple V6 style hot end. Besides that, I mean you can upgrade that of course. They also have options for like a Dragon High Flow and something else. Besides that, it's like solid impression so far. The documentation is not super well fleshed out, so it's quite basic documentation wise, but it's a like hardware wise so far it looks pretty good. I have a bit of doubts regarding the fans, so let's see how the fans perform once everything is put together. But yeah, let's check the manual just so we get like an idea of what is on the menu today. Hi Harlem, welcome. So, menu-wise, so yeah, we start with the AB drives and idlers. So basically, last time we skipped mounting the bed. So the bed is fully prepared. Everything is installed on the bed, but we basically skipped these mounting steps. This is basically the last step we did. We did connect the ground wire because I know I would forget it. But yeah, then we skip these steps. That will be for later. And now we just continue with the AB drives and idlers. So basically put together all the corners, basically. Lots of heatset inserts, lots of stacks to be stacked. And that will be quite some work. Then we put the motors in. And yeah, then we start using the last 4 extrusions we have to build the gantry up. The linear array is already prepared. We did it like in the first stream, so that's all ready to go, and we just have to piece it together basically. So let's just start. I also did a quick check in that GitHub guide here that is so Eric, this is most of the documentation you get with the kit. There doesn't seem to be anything special. Doesn't seem to be anything special for the entire gantry. The only thing is like that here is a note regarding the cable chain mount. So let's keep an eye out for that. Because we, yeah, I mean, technically, like, it doesn't matter if we install the heatsink inserts for the cable chain mount or not, and then just not install it, I guess. But let's keep an eye out for that. And then this is for later when we put it together in the gantry. There are some notes here with like which screws should be how tight. So let's take a look at this when we are at page 96. So, but yeah, let's just jump in. And maybe let's start by looking or like finding all the printed parts we need for this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. My camera is a bit nervous with focus. Oh, it tries to focus on the. It tried to focus somewhere here, and because like the focus area was here, and because it's just white, like it can't focus on it. Okay, so we need parts. We don't need XY joints yet, so this is the front idle parts. This looks like an XY joint thing. We need this, we need this. This is tap, XY joint. No clue what this is. We need these. And I think that should be most of what we need. For the rest, we have to return to the box. But I think these are the main parts. We have like 2 of these. Yeah. Okay. So we have all the assembly groups basically together. Heats and inserts. I actually decided to just keep everything in this like bag here. I feel like it's relatively straightforward of finding, like to find stuff in there. And it's like quite compact and everything is in one place. So let's also make sure to preheat our soldering iron. And while the soldering iron is heating up, let's also look for the M5 nuts right away. By the way, my color scheme is not quite standard. So you see the in the manual, like the parts are always highlighted that are like in the accent color with like little like Warren hearts here. For me, the part is black. So I really mixed up the color scheme here a bit. So this is definitely not accent color. Technically, white is accent color. So it's all a bit over cross, and I hope in the end it will turn out looking nice. Okay, let's see. I hope the nut sits in relatively snug. Otherwise, like, well, yeah, okay. Let's put these in when we need to, because like they just fall out again. So that is for once we actually have a screw in there. Okay. Then we need this part. Let's also do like both sides right straight away together. Let's see. This looks like this part. And then this is the mirrored part. So here we have one heatsink insert here and one here. Let's see. I will do my best to not mix up any left-right parts. Is this the right part? No, this is not the right part. They are different. Uh, yeah, it's interesting. Like it's missing. Let's do it exactly like the manual does. This seems to be like not a perfect mirror. Now that I look at it, because like it's missing at least this hole here. Okay, let's do it exactly like the manual says. So we take the two black parts. They have one heatsink insert on each side, or like one each on one side. Okay. Hade Kukilk. So, and then we already get to stacking. Let me see. This is this part. Actually, get a bit closer here. So this is the part we are looking at in the center of the menu. And this is the counterpart. It's actually like a bit of an annoying thing. Usually this part would be black, and then you wouldn't see this like tiny gap here. Like because it's just black, you wouldn't really see it. But for me, like with the white, like it kind of stands out. It's a bit annoying. I already tried like to make sure the surface is flash, but you still have like a bit of a gap here. So I think that's just something I have to live with. I'm using clicky X and Y end stop. It's probably for the button. I'm not sure yet. I think there are end stop switches in the kit. Something we'll figure out in a second. I think there are end stop switches in the kit. Okay, so we need a M5 by 40 as a socket head. I have M3 by 40. I'll just make like a quick file. Here they are, M5 by 40. And we also need the M5 shims. Okay, that's good. Two of these. And then we also need two of the bearings straight away. Let me just get all of them out here. So we insert the screw from the back, and then we have one washer, two bearings, one washer, and then we place the other part on top. And let's quickly check which part we need. We need this one. Okay, so we have to pull the screw out. Let me make sure to align this. This will not work on first try. Oh, it did work on first try. I'm almost proud of myself. Cool. Now we need the nut. Perfect. That went smooth. I would have expected at least 2 attempts to thread the screw through the bearings. But nice. I'll take a success. Okay, now we need the M3 by 40. And one M3 washer. See where those are hiding? They are hiding. Where are the washers? Ah, they successfully did their best. Okay, and then we insert that from the front here. Oh, with the washer. Let's use them after we spent so much effort trying to find them. Perfect. And this is now our tensioning mechanism. So later on, if we tighten the screw, it will just pull the belt forward and we can tension the AB belts with this. Perfect. No other screws here, so later this will mount on one of the extrusion. Opposite way, but like this. Perfect. First part assembled. Check your work. Let's check our work. So we have a bearing stick here. We have we have? Yes, we check our work and we find that we have the wrong part. We have to quickly fix that. So these parts are identical. The only difference is here in the back. There's a 5mm hole and a 3mm hole is on top. And this part has a 3mm hole here, where this has a 5mm hole. So it's almost the same, not quite. So we should have used these two parts, but we used these two parts. Let me quickly check. I think we accidentally just built it completely opposite. Yeah, we just built the other side. No, we didn't. This one is now upside down. Okay, let's quickly redo that. That's always the tricky part with like parts that are almost the same, like mirrored, but not quite. Okay. So let's put these two parts together. Put one washer, two bearings, one washer. pull the screw out. Then the flat side with the screw up goes to the Voron logo, so we had the right part here. Yep. The washer slipped a bit. Let me see. Let me quickly get. Trying to line it. Let me see. So the washer just like moved like a millimeter, I think. Hard to see. Let me quickly start over. We burned our luck. So screw from the bottom. Washer, bearing, bearing, washer. Let's make sure to use the correct part. That's again the washer. It's the second washer. That's like misaligning. Or like it's misaligned. For some reason, I can't really push it in place. Here we go. Let's secure this and let's check our work again. So we have the small hole now on the bottom, big hole on top. But now we have the... this was the correct part. Okay, let's make sure to like put this part far away. So this one is success, not the correct part. Okay, third time is the charm. Washer, washer, bearing, washer. Oh no, almost success. We lost the M5 washer. So This is quite a fun little challenge. It's now constantly shifting. Okay, let's try this again. And maybe it's best to just set the part down on the table after I remove the screw. Oh, but yeah, I have to lift it. Like only the... Okay, here we go. No, I feel like we, we finally managed. So we have the small hole on the bottom, big hole on top, and the screw, the M5 screw is also on top. So, perfect. Part one done. So, now we do the opposite side. So it's the same procedure. This time we use the small part on the bottom. There. We need 2 washers. Oh, already starts amazing. Then bearing. And the opposite part. Oh, yeah. I have my stacking mojo back. Let's... Where did I put the M5 nuts? Did I put them back? Oh no. Right in front of me. And then we need 1 M3 washer. And 1 M3 by 40. Let's double check. So from the front, the cut line is on the bottom together with the screw. This M5 screw is on top. So I think we have 2 successfully assembled front idlers. So 1 screw is on top, 1 screw is on bottom. Check your work. So we have the screw on top, small hole bottom, big hole top. We have stack here peeking out. And screw front bottom. Perfect. Two almost identical, but slightly different parts. Then A drive. This is the part we put into heatset inserts so far. So we have the cutout here, two heatset inserts. Looks good. Okay, we need M5 by 30, which I already have here. Two of these. So one goes here and one goes here. And we flip this over and do a lot of stacking. So let's start with the center one. So it's one washer each. Then on the center one, we have two bearings and a washer. Then we have on the corner one, the washer, two bearings, two washers, two bearings, and one washer. We need the same part with the, or like the other part with the cutout. Carefully flip this over. And carefully, I mean like in a way, I almost dropped the stacks. And then we tighten, but don't over tighten because we're screwing into the plastic here directly. Which is totally fine because like these will only have like horizontal loads basically. So nothing gonna pull on these screws. So perfect. This looks identical to the manual. Quickly put the washers back we don't need. And then we are on to our motor. Actually going pretty fast today. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Let's do the same what we did last stream and immediately put in the grub screws that we don't lose them. Well, we have plenty spares by now because we said that like for every 4 we get 1 extra, I think, or something. And so far we didn't lose any grub screws, so we should have 3 grub screws left. Let's keep them for later, maybe. Yeah, I think it's always handy to have a couple of these spare. You never know. Then we need our little helper jig. Which we need for A. So let's tighten one far enough down that it can't really spin anymore, but then we can like adjust the height still. And then we tighten the one on the side. Let me actually get this a tiny bit more up. And then, so basically the one on the side is now fully tight, and this one I can pull out. And we can quickly apply a thread locker on there. Let's see if I actually bought new thread locker. I'm very proud of myself, like I remembered. I think this one. No, we really like use it up last time. Okay, well, let's go for a new one. Oh, I have to cut it. They come completely sealed. I'm not sure why they came out like a lot right away, but we don't need this much. Front is secure. We can take out the side one. And while we are like doing this, let's quickly do the other side right away. So this was the A drive, so this one needs to be on B, which I assume is then the opposite way around. Let's tighten this like enough that it can't like leave the flat spot. A bit, tiny bit too low. That's better. And then we can get the front one out. Get some thread locker on. Yeah, like a lot of thread locker came out there. Well, so we have our AB drives. Let's just very briefly double check. Yeah, it's upside down. So we are good there. So, give me 1 second. I'll quickly grab some kitchen towel to clean that. 1 second. Okay. Clean this, otherwise I know myself well enough. Then I will make an absolute mess. Okay, so then we need the A motor, which is the right side up one basically. And we inserted, see, I said I would make a mess. Now I have blue thread locker on my beautiful white part. Where does it now come from? Do I have it on my... Don't have any thread locker on my hands, as far as I'm aware of. Let's try again. So the connector faces inward. Yeah, so thread locker everywhere. And then we need 3M330. Hey, Damascus. Loctite kills ABS and AS8. Yeah, that's why you should not smear it all over your parts. But I think it's like, well, it's just a bit on the surface, so shouldn't matter this much. But if you put too much Loctite, for example, like on the V0, you mount the ABS part directly on the linear rail, and if you put too much Loctite there, you definitely kill the X carriage of the V0. You think I need to clean it with IPA? Like visually, there's nothing left. Let's do it. Yeah. Just to be sure. There we go. I'm pretty sure it was gone before already. I also have no clue like where this came from. Can't hurt. Definitely can't hurt. I like the white, by the way. I may use it in my next build. Yeah, this is, I mentioned it before, this is the ABS-X Marble White from Nobufill. It looks really cool. Like, especially like close up, you have like all these little like specks basically. So it's like a inverted galaxy color basically. So, so we have the 3M330. Let me just to make sure. Yeah, I tightened those. And we check that these are aligned. So, to me, like looking in here, like I would say, no, it's difficult on camera to show that, but like if I look straight on, the pulley is definitely lower than the two gear, like the two bearings here. So basically, the top of the pulley just aligns with the top of the bearing. But then basically on the bottom of the pulley, I have some space. And generally, you kind of want to ride you want the belt to ride in the middle. So I would like move the pulley ever so slightly up. So you just that this is like center to each other. Yeah, it looks much better. So now it's basically centered. So the belt fully fills the height of the bearing stack here, basically. So now the pulley is centered to the bearing stack. If you look straight, like it's a bit difficult to show on camera with the perspective. But now you see that there's like if I hold like this, the flanges of the bearing are just like touching the top and bottom of the pulley. So this is now centered to each other. Okay, looks good. Welcome, Alex. um, Perfect. Then I think we can continue. Most likely, I'll exactly let us do the exact same thing on the opposite side. Just double check we have the right part, but looks good. Then we have one washer each. Two bearings each. And the corner one gets two washers. Right. And then another two bearings. And another washer. And now we only have 4 bearings left, which will be for the XY joints. And we're screwing in plastic, so let's not tighten it too much. And that's the other part. So the the connector of the motor faces this way. So inside basically. Then we need M3 by 30. Oh, that in here. One, two, three. Connector faces inward. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. Like you really see like the split between the parts. It's like just so visible with the white color. But yeah, it is what it is. Let me see. So this one actually looks already pretty well aligned. So I don't think there's anything we need to change there. It's pretty dead centered. Just double check that I tightened the pulley. I did. And yeah, that was it for this section of the manual. So we have the AB drives, and we actually this way we have the AB drives, and we have the AB idlers. Now we'll start to look a lot like a printer gantry. Let me make some some space because we're gonna need it. Let me also just take out the parts for the XY joints. Should be these 4. And then we can like get the box out of the way and get some extrusions. Okay, so oh the cable chains. So the thing is, we need to double check if we need this part. And if I didn't print it, we don't need it. It's not in here. Let's quickly check. Where does it go? Because I don't think we need that. That's why I didn't print it. Let's quickly scroll through. Exactly. So this is the connector here for the Z cable chain. Um, is it for Z? No, this is for X. Either way, we don't need it. So this part we can skip. That's, I think, also, if we quickly cross-reference that. With the GitHub guide. So we are on page 84. And on 84 is do not install heatsink inserts into the cable chain mount. The format could use an umbilical instead of cable chains. Yeah, so we can confidently skip this page 84 here. And skip straight to the gantry. So we need the E extrusion. In the beginning, we added these helpful stickers here. So this is T, C, C. So this one must be E. And which part do they have here? They have this part. So this goes in like this. Before we can do that, we obviously have to add some M5 peanuts. So we need 8 in total. And let's also pay attention to the orientation to nuts because the holes are relatively close to each other. And then sometimes if you put the T-nuts in the wrong way, you struggle to align them. So here, like the fat part faces inward for all of them. Okay, so these are aligned. Still have to like move the extrusion later a little bit, but like all the holes line up with peanuts. We need M5 by 10. M5 by 10. Oh, the chat is cut off again. This is annoying. Like, not quite sure what the problem there is. Okay, let me now it's fine. Okay, let me quickly save that. I just removed like one, like I have this like rules basically to change the look a bit to hide these like YouTube elements. It's something messes it up. Okay, cool. M5 by 10. We need a lot of these. I'm not tightening these. I just want the T-nuts to be in place. And then I assume the extrusion needs to be all at the end here, which doesn't specifically say. Oh yeah, here it says. Okay, so it needs to be all at the end. Okay. Okay. Just make sure this is all pushed together. Hide that dreams are fragile. Also having no luck printing the plenum for Nevermore V6, so it keeps warping on me. Oh. What printer do you use to print it? Are you also like trying to print on a V0 or something bigger? Build looks really good. Thank you. I hope it will like print well in the end. So I don't have yet, and I think the others are all. So there's a little gap left and right here, but it's basically from where there's like a curve in the part. So this is as close as I get it. You see, like there's a gap, but then basically there's like a slight curve in the part here on top and bottom. So this is as close as I can push it together. If this is like a little bit off later on, like it's quite easy to like adjust that. So it should not be too bad. No, wait. Now it says here there is a gap. Here it shows. Uh, didn't see that correctly before. Okay, so most likely we'll have to adjust it later on anyways. Because like here in the manual now it shows there's a gap. Maybe let me quickly show it big. So it shows here there is a gap. I have mine now basically pushed all the way in. But it's most likely something we later have to adjust when we install the gantry, that like the width is perfect. So that's also most likely why there's no specification like how far in this needs to be. Let's continue. So these are the C extrusions. I'm using an Ender S1 that has Clipper though. But do you have then like an enclosure or do you print open air? Because open air I think will be very challenging. Why don't you buy BFI or SBFI? What is BFI or SBFI? Are you going to use Stealth Burner? Yeah, in the initial iteration, we will have a Stealth Burner. Might change later on. My long-term plan is still to convert this into a tool changer, like after we are done and it's printing well and everything is like settled. But for the beginning, it's this beautiful white marble-colored Stealth Burner. Get rid of these like stickers we put here. In enclosed and not totally insane, it's really slow going. Yeah, I not sure. Like the thing is, like, you don't need a Nevermore, right? So if you have problems with that, potentially you can also just print it with the 2.4 or whatever printer you're building. Once it's done. Because yeah, it will be a bit smelly, but if the Nevermore is more or less the first thing you print, not really that important. But yeah, maybe if it warps, just try, potentially you can try printing it on a raft. Like, I'm not quite sure if it's just warping or if you also see like layer separation. Because if it's just warping on the base, you can try printing on a raft. It's like a bit extreme. Like a raft is basically you first print like sacrificial layers basically on the bottom, and then you print the object on that layers, and then the sacrificial layers basically can warp, but the object you're printing will stay intact. Maybe you can give that a shot, or just like have more brim. Like if you're not sure if you use a brim already, but like it's totally fine to use a brim on ABS parts and then clean it up later with a knife. That always works. Besides B front idlers, the mod for the idlers. For now, we'll do everything stock. So it's basically just like a vanilla 2.4 build, more or less. We will add mods later. I already have a couple of mods in mind. But yeah, for now it's just like complete stock, basically. Okay. We need T-nuts. Alright, dump all of them here. But M3 T-nuts, not M5. Let's put them all back. M3 T-nuts. Let me also grab the linear rails. We already cleaned and greased them in the first stream. So we are now doing the y-axis. So we have 3 left. The Y are MGN9 and the X is MGN12. So it's only MGN12 rail. So this is for in a second. For now, let's quickly figure out how many T-nuts we need. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So nine T-nuts. Something like that. I don't think it's like hyper important how many exactly you use there. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm printing with a brim. I've got photos. I can email them later if you want to see. You can also just post in the Discord. There's Discord link in the email in the description of the video or the stream here on YouTube. You can just post in a Discord. Potentially somebody else also has tips and tricks. Okay, let me move these stoppers, like just one in, because I want to have a screw in the end, like in the outmost ones. And then it's just lining all these bad boys up. And then in the center, we skip 2 holes. I'm not sure if this is the center, but one of these two. Try raft. Yeah, I didn't use rafts for like the longest time. Like, I think I've used them only twice or so. I know that if you print like super warpy materials, like more warpy than ABS, they're quite commonly used. Okay, I'm not tightening this at all. Like, it's just like to get everything aligned. I have to wait 10 minutes before you can post? Oh, I'm not sure that there was such a rule. Well, just if you post later, maybe I have some tips and tricks. And there are also like some very experienced other people on the Discord by now. So, but yeah, raft will be my trick. Another thing you can try is a draft shield. There's also an option if you use Orca or push a slicer, you can put a draft shield. But if you already have an enclosure, I'm not sure if that really makes most likely it doesn't make a difference. And then the other thing is like, what kind of ABS do you use? Like, did you try like a different ABS maybe? Like if you have like a lot of trouble with this one specific ABS, you might have more luck with a different brand of ABS. Okay, then we have these 2 jigs here to help us center the linear rail. So I'll just put them here on the ends. Now this should be center. Nice and center. We could have also read all text. If you're building 300 machine, you will need to start your screws from the second screw hole. In the rest, leaving the end holes open to allow space for T-nuts for later step. Oh, well, read the manual. So we need to leave the last 2 open. And let's just move them one over. And we have like the two screws next to each other on the end, which I guess doesn't hurt either. Okay. Make sure to add stoppers again. Okay, then I assume we need to center them 25 or 25 millimeters from the end. Let's just use the calipers. Doesn't need to be like super precise. It's good enough. Elioka, it says to not use the holes at the end. Yeah, that's exactly what I also figured out. That's also what I just figured out. Always read the text. I'm not really doing that on stream that much. Okay. This is one. Let's just copy what we did here. So spacing I mean, it's even. So um, we need another 9. 6. Yeah, it's like the one thing that like it's not an issue so far, but this one is a bit stiff. Let me not use this one. Or this is an M5. Not sure how an M5 came in here. So if you look at these like nuts, like up close, um, compare these two, like they have this countersunk around the hole, and like they're completely random, like how much they're countersunk. Um, so yeah, I've never seen it like this extreme. Like I have like some other T-Nuts M3 that I bought, and they're like all like similarly countersunk. And like these are like super random, and it makes them appear to be like quite cheap. Like I don't think it's like a problem that like they don't fulfill the task or that they're not up to the job, but it's just like it doesn't look nice. Now they're gone, so it's a bit of like a nitpick, of course, but yeah. So we use 2. And we leave 1 empty, 1 empty, 1 empty, 2 empty, 1 empty, 1 empty, no empty. Let's get all the screws in first again. And then we worry about positioning. Okay, let's add the helpers and let's align that. Left and right, and then the rest we can just do more or less in random order. I think I have all. That should be it. So here we can check that I have all. Okay. These are our 2 wide. And we actually also mirrored The two holes. So now they're like super random, but like the font is facing like down on both sides, and they have the same two-hole spacing, which is essential. Otherwise, it will not work. Um, yes. So this is the step here. So we put them upside down. And then we need M5 T-nuts. I have this one random one here that was like in the M3 bag for whatever reason. Let's add this. Where did I put the others? Here. And the orientation is also important. And actually see like one is the wrong way. So whenever like the holes the T-nuts mount to are like close next to each other, it's quite important like if you put them in this way or this way. Because if you put like two with the thick part together basically facing each other, then the minimum distance between the holes is quite big. That's also what it says here, the nut orientation. Okay, oh, we have more on the other side. It's one M3 and one M5. Four M5s. Okay. And then we are putting out our idlers. Let's make sure we have the right one. This one is having the screw on top on front. The picture in the manual also screw on top. So this is the one we want here. Then we need a little then I put it in the zip. I think these are in the other in the other box. I hope they are. No? Did I finally miss a part? Oh no, they are white. I was like looking for black parts for whatever reason. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a lot of these. Are they all the same or are they different? To be honest, at this point, we can also put everything in one box. And have like these boxes, they're from IKEA. I really like them. I have a lot of them. Like I have a whole thing here, and like also in my closet, I use these boxes to organize. And it's impossible to buy them. Like IKEA, at least here in Netherlands, like IKEA has it like on stock like for like 1 week every couple months. And then you need to like either order online because sometimes they're only available online, or you have to go to the IKEA store because they're only available in store. And it's really horrible. It's like absolutely horrible, like buying these. Uh, yes, they are indeed different. So They are indeed different. So some of them here, they have small hole in one spot. These are the ones with the small holes, and these are not the ones we need. We need the ones with two 5mm holes. So we put here, and then we need M5 by 16, which we did not use yet. Here we go. And we want this to be flush. Let's make sure this is flush. Yeah, I already tightened it a bit accidentally. So let's just use one of these. This is as flush as it gets. And yes, we want the notch on the bottom. That's what the manual says here, because that's later where we clamp the belts in. And we do the same on the other side. I was just wondering whether they flipped it over now, because like here's where the small holes are. So let's make sure it's the right way around. Stop, stop, stop. Did I make a mistake? The two M5s are on the opposite side of the linear rail. So this looks exactly like the picture now. So we have the two M5s here, the screw head is here, and the screw here is on top. So this one is correct. I hope. So on now they have the second one. We hold it like this, as in the picture. And this way. So we have the Voron logo facing us, the screw is on the bottom, the two M5 are on top. Now we're correct. It's also interesting, like we now barely, like it's just flush here on top, and but it also touches the linear rail here. So it just fits, but seemingly like this linear rail is a tiny bit off compared to the other side. And 5 by 10. Oh. And if we now also add the other piece, it will be a success. Also here, we actually did, this one is actually the wrong way around. We have the notch inside here, and the notch should be on the outside because the belt will later go vertically there. Quickly. No, this is correct. So flush on front, so the notch here needs to be on the side as well. Small details make a difference. So let's make sure this is flush. I'll just use like another one of these. Just push this in. And it's good. Then this is what we just did. So we know that the mirror. So we have two parts now. Let's just quickly align them as they are in the manual. So we have left and right. The right side has the screw here on top. The left side has the screw on the bottom. That's correct. We see all the M5 screws on top. That's also correct. So we can proceed and insert them here. Then let's also pay attention to the notch again. Here's the other part. And we also want to flush install on the back. So let's carefully rotate that. See what I do here. These are all aligned somewhat. Let's use just a part to accidentally put on that stopper for linear rail, although we don't need it actually anymore, because the linear rails now have the printed parts that will prevent the carriage from going off the rail. But now this, I mean, this is also pretty much spot on where it should be. Oh, forgot this again. So focus on aligning the holes that I forget to add the thing that I'm actually like screwing down. This is flush. This is flush. These are flush. So this looks like a gantry. And I guess this is the next. No, it's not the next manual section. It's the XY joints. It's still part of the gantry. So these are the parts we have here. There you go, 6 times. And I predict in a second they will fall out. um, let's see, which part is this? So this is the one we are looking at with the little notch here. So we use a M5 by 40. In the hole here on the corner. Where did I put the M5 washers? Here we go. Oh, a bit too many, but we'll need them. Washer, bearing. Washer. And then we place that on top. And there's one part here that has the same notch, so that's the one we need. Is it though? And we aim for the center nut. Okay, then this is secure. And we have two more M5 by 40. I'll just put my finger on the nuts. I don't lose them. So yeah, so we now have three. I was a bit confused for a second about the menu. But we have now three M4 by 40 in, and there's one more on front, which we will use with the tooth dialer. Which we also don't have to over tighten. So this has a bit of play. Let me just I just positioned the screw nut as like flush on top. Okay. Like you always see like the line basically where the two halves come together. That's just a like every bit of shadow you just see on the white immediately. Then we do the same thing again. So we take a M5 by 40 in the front corner. I was a bit confused just now because like you can pull this through here. It's like completely open. So let's be careful with this. So we have washer, bearing, washer. And then we aim for the center one again. Is it the center one? No. Let me. The back one? Wait. Yeah, center one. This one. Okay. Put my fingers on the on the nuts. We don't lose them. I'm just holding it upside down that the nuts basically fall towards the screw. Is this correct? It looks correct. It looks correct. I'm just still confused that like this hole here is open on this side. Oh. I tried to align it the same way on the other side, but this one, it is what confuses me. Like on this side, the stack goes into a nut, but it's also like a proper screw hole here basically. But on this side, it goes into a nut, but it's not a proper screw hole here. That's why I'm not sure if I have it the right way in, but I think I do. And then the last one is this one here. Yeah, I think it's just like because like the I mean they're mirrored obviously. So the top one here, the part is not thick enough. Like basically as thick as the screw head. And that's why like you basically can completely get the screw through. The only thing is like a bit annoying now is like this screw sits a little bit lower now than the others. But if I don't tighten that like at all, and let's do it at least the same on both sides. So there's one screw each that sits below flush. Okay, these are the AB. Like that's how they go. Not AB, XY joints. Okay. Next step, last linear rail. So we have our D extrusion. Peel it off here. And we need to pay attention to the T-nut orientation for the last and the first. So let's move the stop blocks one over. And let's just insert. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, I think in total. So I think in the center we need a gap of 2 again. Nope, no gap of 2. And the last one, we need vector orientation. And then this should be it. Let's quickly align everything. Oh, there was a gap of 2 in the center. Or we have now 2 in the center. It also works. So we have this one free, this one free, this one free, this one free, this one. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And if I would have been now a smart person, I wouldn't have used M5 T-nuts, but M3 T-nuts. Let's try this again. I'm not sure why I used M5 now. Okay, so the orientation of this one needs to be in. There's another M5 and M3. Not sure if I mixed the Tinas up here at some point and put them in the wrong bag, or if it's something that just came with the kit incorrectly. It doesn't matter. Another M5. And the last one, we need to check the orientation. Okay. Now with the right peanuts, let's try the whole shebang again. That's a stubborn one. Okay. Let's do our trick again. So we need 15 millimeters from the side. I'll just put that to 15. Doesn't need to be super precise. And then we can just slide it over. And we need our 2 jigs to align that. Oh, now I moved the rail a bit. Just make sure this is... Yeah, it's fine. When I tighten the screw, like the rail shifts a bit over. And it's not like, it doesn't need to be like super precise in the center, to be honest. I have plus minus a millimeter. It doesn't really matter. Let's try to, you know, make it nice. Okay. That's the x-axis. Then we flip it to the front. Now we can use our favorite M5 T-nuts. So we have 2 on top with the butt in, basically. And 1 on the bottom. And we paid attention to orientation, so all the thick parts are facing inward. Then for some reason this doesn't quite want to go in. I'll just loosen the screws here a bit. No need to force that. I'll do the same here. Okay. Then we need M5 by 10s, and we don't have the drag chain. So we use M5 by 10s on both sides, unlike what the manual shows here. Yeah, leave those loose so we can adjust the position. And from the bottom, yeah, leave slightly loose. It also says it now. Okay. We need M5 by 30. There's M3 by 30 in here. That is here. And 2 M5 shims. Interesting part is this aligned, and it mostly is. And so here we leave them a bit loose, so the width can adjust. Okay. What we can. So also these are still a bit loose. Let's leave them loose for now. Like these we can tighten technically, but like there's like not really like a lot of like pressure on the extrusion, so we can like adjust the width quite easy. So let's check our work. The menu looks at it from the front. We have I have found a mistake. It's good. Good, we found it now. But the parts look correct, and the things we don't have the drag chain mount. The problem is that I now discover we didn't pay attention here. By we, I mean me. This stack is incorrect. So let's quickly fix that. It could be a bit painful to do, but we're here for a challenge, right? Okay, so I'm trying to I think it's actually easiest to fix because this one has the screw open. So what we do is I just put the screw in from the other side. Put the, trying to show it here, put the washer, put the bearing, and I just move the screw ever so slightly up. And then because this is the magic stack here, I just leave this screw in from the bottom for now. It's the one that is open from the top. So we can just throw throw the washer from the top. And then I'll just use a second 5 by 40, and then we just push the other screw out. Up. And that's it. Easy fix. Over tighten that. Now we have one M5 by 40 that we can put back, and this is a random washer. Cool. Let's double check. So that's the way to look at. The stack is fixed. We have the tooth idler here. One screw from the bottom, the two from the top. On the other side, we don't have the chain mount, so we have two screws on top. We have the tooth idler here. We have the smooth idler here. One screw from the bottom. So I think this looks now good. Perfect. Always double check. It's better to like catch stuff like that now than if you catch it later when you're like trying to run the belts or something. So could be worse. Okay, now the fun part. The fun part. So we will put this in. So that, let me zoom out here again. So we have the gantry upside down. For us, it's actually easier because we don't have the chain mount sticking out here. So yeah, but you already see like here, like it bends out. So the width here is definitely like way too tight. That's what I mentioned before. Like I just pushed it in all the way, but in the manual you saw that there's an undefined space, and this is now where this comes in, or like will become important. So we use M3 by 16. 3 by 16, but with a socket head. I have M3 by 16 button head in my hand. Yeah, there. So the right side gets 4. And the left side only gets 2 for now. I'm also tightening them like super tight for now. Okay. This is quite wobbly. But I guess now we are adjusting it. V1 and V2 are not version numbers but printer models. We rename V2 to Voron Trident to address confusion this caused. Yes. But the V2 is still the V2. I'm still curious what will be the name for the V2. But I guess like they will only rename it like once the like 2.5 comes out. Yeah, let's so this is quite not aligned. They don't do it now, but let's try to get this like tiny bit more in line. So I'm not, but I don't think we can actually do that because it, like you see, it doesn't go to the bottom here. But this really depends on the frame. So technically, this was the goal for the day. Just have the gantry. But we're relatively fast. But I kind of wanted to have this part, installing it with the bells and everything for next time. I think that makes the most sense. The only thing I kind of want to adjust is this a little bit. Just like that if I accidentally move it, it doesn't break or something. So, let me loosen these. And then when we install, we can adjust everything. But now, like, at least it works this way. Well, it's very, very uneven. Oh, yeah, this is it really needs to adjust to the width of the frame. That's why, like, here everything can be like adjusted a little bit in the width. That later the important, or like the defining width, is the width of the frame. Trying to make this a bit even. It doesn't need to be perfect, because also the width here is not really set. But this is already lots better. Yeah, and we also lost the stopper here of this rail, but it's not important anymore. We can actually take them off, because by now the printed parts stop it. But yeah, you still see, like, when I move it backward, it spreads out, and when I move it forward, it pulls together. So this is not properly aligned, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. That really, the frame will allow us to adjust this properly. Cool. Did we forget these, or did they not ask us to put them in? Because I don't recall seeing them. Or it's also something I might have just skipped over. No, like, we only asked to install the top ones. The bottom ones we are not asked to install. Okay, then I think that's a lot of progress for today. It looks quite nice. Like, I was a bit skeptical with the black and white color scheme, but it looks actually like really nice now, like putting it together. Having everything white except for the extrusions basically here, and the idlers, or like the tensioners here. They're also black. But besides that, everything is in white. I'm also like a bit skeptical because I read that, like, white ABS is a bit weaker than other colors of ABS, something chemical. Um, and I'm now using white ABS everywhere, so it will be interesting if I get any, like, long-term issues with that. But yeah, if I do, I'll own up to it, and we have to replace stuff, which is also fun sometimes. Um, just like rebuild something and apply all the things you learned in the meantime. Cool. Yeah, then I would call today. A bit on the shorter side now. It's like 2 hours of streaming, but also have like a long weekend ahead, so I'll take the bit of extra time on the evening now. Cool. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and as always, enjoy your weekend, and see you next week with more of 2.4. See you. Bye.